I remember years ago when I was managing a restaurant, there was this lady named Lisa who was there um, meeting with a salesman because she was going to get married, and she was there doing some taste testing for the wedding. And so the her and the salesman were in the restaurant that I managed having breakfast. And doing my customer service thing, I went over and started talking with the lady. Her name was Lisa, and she was there. Her and her husband was going to get married in 6 months from when she was there doing the testing. And her husband name was Jack, and they lived in Jacksonville. He was in the military, and she was eating a ham and cheese omelet with pancakes, right? And so we had a good conversation. And then so fast forward 6 months later, she came there for the wedding. And then her and her family, both sides was a lot of them, it was a big old giant table. They came into the restaurant. And when I saw her, I said, "Hey, Lisa, how are you? Congratulations." Notice I said her name. "Congratulations on the wedding. I know you and Jack. Is this Jack?" Finally got to meet him. I remembered his name. And so when they were going to order, I said, "Are you getting the ham and cheese omelet again? I know you liked that last time with the pancakes." All right. And so we had a good conversation, but notice how I even remembered what she had. So what I did, fast forward, she actually wrote a letter to the general manager, well, actually to me, and sent the letter because of how I went so far above her expectation. I made her feel so special, her and her family. She was very grateful and very thankful. Well, why am I sharing this story with you? Listen, is it because I got a super good memory? No, it was because the customer service that I provided was intentional. And I have to owe it all to this book here called Hug Your Customer. I don't know if you can see that. Hug Your Customer by Jack Mitchell. And this by far, I've read a lot of books, and this by far is my favorite customer service book. Listen, in case it's your first time here, listen, I'm Billy Miller and I love books. And I love books so much that I dedicated this whole channel to sharing with you the different books, the many books that have impacted my life in every area of my life. And so this particular video, I'm going to be talking about this book, Hug Your Customer. And like I said, I've read a lot of books on customer service, but this book has impacted me the most. This book has empowered me the most, and is by far my favorite customer service book. If you want to know more about this book, just look in the description of this video and you can find out more about this book. But the book is called Hug Your Customer, right? And let me explain to you what he means by the word hug. Uh, and he puts up here, uh, uh, I'm sorry, hug is anything that exceeds a customer's expectation. So, like I shared the story with you with Lisa, I exceeded her expectation because I remembered her name, I remembered details, right? And there was a lot of other stuff I did too. But I've had constant. I can't tell you the number of. I was averaging when I was managing this hotel. This was in, excuse me. This was inside of a restaurant. I was averaging about two notes or letters or messages a week, either sent to me or sent to the general manager, because of how I wowed the customers. I went far above the customer's expectation. Listen to me. If you are in the service industry, hospitality hospitality industry, anything that's dealing with customers, maybe you're in sales, maybe you have a business, listen, you most definitely want to listen to what I'm saying in this video, and especially this book. I highly recommend this book, Hug Your Customers. And like I said, he said hug your customers means anything that exceeds your customer's expectation. But I also, and this is something that I came up with during this study, and this was before COVID, what I'm about to tell you. I actually took it as a literal hug too. I knew that once a customer hugged me, I've taken them to the highest level. Like I said, this was before COVID, so you'll see a lot of that now. But during that time, I can't tell you the number of customers that hugged me before they left. Maybe they was in a hotel for 3 days for an event, and I met them and I impacted them so much. Before they left, they became a friend and they gave me a hug. And I always took that as the highest level of customer service. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you've been in a restaurant and you hugged the server before they left? Right? You probably rarely, right? If you didn't know them, how many times you went to a restaurant and you hugged the server before they left? Well, I'm just showing you the level of quality customer service that I was able to provide, because that's something probably unheard of. That's something that you probably never done before, but that's something that I made happen a lot of times. And a part of it was because of that book. I've read other good books too, but this book by far is my favorite. He continued. Let me read a quote from the book. I'm gonna put it on the screen, and you can take a screenshot of it if you want. What he said about hug, how they came up with it. He says, to us, hugging is a softer word for passion and relationships. It's a way of getting close to your customers and truly understanding them. And so his whole book is about hug your customers, and it's showing you different concepts. It's so many nuggets in this book. I'm not gonna be able to give them all to you, but I may do some other videos highlighting certain points, certain principles in the book, because there's just so much in here. I ain't gonna be able to cover it all today. It'll be a super long video. So throughout the time, I'm gonna just pick out certain principles, certain nuggets, and just do that as a teaching and share it, because it's just so good. One of the concepts I love that I learned from him is customer centric, learning to be customer centric. And let me put the definition on up here that he says. He says customer centric is when you dedicate the entire organization and its focus to listening and learning from the customers. This helped me so much. This is why businesses should always have surveys. You need to learn from the customer. Don't just try to sell them what you want to sell them. Why don't you share with them something that they want? Listen and learn from the customers, because they'll show you how to shape and mold your business or your organization. And that's one of the things that I learned, how to be customer centric. This is what he said about customer centric. He said, you can't truly become customer centric unless the entire organization is integrated so that everyone touches the customers. And so you have to ensure and able that happens. Listen, I want you to notice something here. He says you can't be truly customer centric unless the entire organization is integrated, so that everyone, not some of them, not most of them, everyone in that business, that industry, right, touches the customers. And that's important. And that's why a lot of businesses are failing. That's why a lot of businesses are struggling. I work for many places, and you probably have too. You probably can relate to what I'm about to say. I've worked for many places where certain people are customer centric. Maybe, the servers are, but the managers aren't. I always say things look different from 1,000 feet up. Sometimes you can get so high, you're the director, you're the general manager. Things look different from 1,000 feet up. And so the people that are down there touching the customers, you won't even listen to them because you're way up here saying this is what's best. No, you need to be customer centric. Listen, everybody, the entire organization needs to touch the customer, right? In other words, the general manager need to get in the trenches with you. And so many businesses are struggling because they're doing something that sounds good. They're doing something that sounds protocol. They're doing something that they heard in a seminar, but they're not even touching the customer. So they don't even know, and they're not listening to their team, who are boots on the ground right there with the customers. I know you can relate to what I'm talking about. Listen, let me put this other quote up here if I can find it. Maybe I didn't put it up here. Oh, here you go. Here you go. I'm sorry. I was trying to find this quote. Stay with me. Stay with me. He says, There's no way you can win without the whole team. Listen, there's gonna have to be the whole team. The general manager need to listen. If I was a general manager, I'd be in there talking to the customers as well. I did it when I was a manager, like the story I just told you with Lisa. No, I wasn't a server when I was talking to her. I was a manager, but what I would do when everybody come in that restaurant, I would go and talk to them as a friend, and I would use these. I would go home and read books. I called it like, and this is going to be a good leeway to what my next point. I took my books and I would read books and I would take it home, and that's my homework, right? And I would study it just like a person, just like a professional athlete would study a playbook. The books I was reading, the principles I was studying was my playbook. But when I came to work, that's when I executed what I learned. That's when I got on the playing field. That's when I put to use what I learned. Are you following what I'm saying? And so that's what I would do. I would go home and study these different things on communication, customer service, and all of these principles. And I would come to work and I would get on the field and put it into practice. And so that leads to my next segment because he had this principle that I like that he called game day. Game day. So let me put what he wrote on here. And he owned he had like what you call it, like suits and stuff, like tailor-made suits. That was his business, but his principles work for any business. But look what he put on here. He says, on game day, oh sorry, that ain't the one. Hold on. Here we go. He says, nearly half of our business is transacted on Saturdays. And so we refer to Saturdays as game day. It's when we have to perform our best and call our smartest plays. So remember, I told you, you go home, you got, the information is the playbook, the recipe, the instructions, right? But now you're going to have to go and put it to practice. Where Saturdays was their busiest day. What's the busiest day of your business or where you work at? Maybe you work in a restaurant and Saturdays is your busiest day. Maybe you're a car salesman and the weekend is your business. Whatever that busiest moment is what we call game day. There's a quote I heard years ago that says, we go see who's really been practicing on game day. We go find out if you've been really studying. Let's go on game day is going to reveal if you've been training or not on this busiest day. And so on game day, listen, everybody needs to be ready. So look what he put right here. He says, on game day itself, everyone's primary focus has to be the floor. Their total mindset must be helping the customers and assisting sales associates with their every need. This is from the top of the organization all the way down to the bottom. As a matter of fact, let me read a little bit from the book. Like I said, this book has so many nuggets, so many gems in here. Let me take this off. I most definitely highly recommend it, especially if you're a customer service. I don't care if you're working in a fast food restaurant. That's the service. You need to get this book. Maybe you're a server, maybe you're a waiter. Get this book. Maybe you're a car salesman. Maybe you sell furniture. Maybe you sell insurance. Get this book. Maybe you're an airline steward. Listen, anything that's dealing with where you have patients or customers, are you following me? Maybe you're in the hospital. You need to get this book. Let me read. I'm going to read. You just listen. He says, and so we believe that everyone, not just the sellers, but the controller, the credit manager, and the buying assistant should focus only on customers on game day and not on their other jobs. No matter how much work they have piled on their desk. So listen, he said on game day, this is the most important day. He said, I don't care about all these other little side jobs or these little projects you're working on. Your main focus on game day is to make sure everybody is touching the customers, from the general manager to the janitor. Are you following me? He says, believe me, let me read this. Let me read that part one more time because I like what he best said. He says, and so we believe that everyone, not just the sellers, but the controller, the credit manager, and the buying assistant should focus only on customers on game day and not on their other jobs, no matter how much work they have piled on their desk. Believe me, these other jobs are critical to their success. I'm sorry, these other jobs are critical to the success of our business. So it's very important that they understand how vital being on the floor on game day is to the hugging culture of the business. I know I probably just messed all that up. I'm sorry. I just read that all wrong, but I'm gonna read it. Stay with me. He says, believe me, these other jobs are critical to the success of our business. But he says it's very important that they understand how vital being on the floor on game day is to the hugging culture of the business. Listen, if you want your business to succeed, listen, you can worry about counting and doing inventory later. When it's the busiest day, you need to make sure the customers are taken care of. Oh man, I hope you're getting it. And he says, like I said, there's so much in here. I I can go on and on about the nuggets that's in this book. I only touched a fraction of it. Um, but I'm gonna read you one more thing, and that's when he talked about when the customers hug back. I told you how we hug the customers, but let me tell you how the customers hug you back. Hey, I want to take this quick moment to tell you that not only do I love reading books, I also love writing them too. And I want you to check out the books that I wrote. I'm a #1 Amazon bestseller, and my books change lives. Just like the shirt says, I write books that change lives. You see them right here beside me. Listen, to find out more about it, look in the description of this video and find out more about how you can get the ebook or the paperback copy. Now let's get back to this powerful teaching. And he called this the return hug. So once you do all of these principles, you hug your customer, right? You wow the customer by going far above the customer's expectation. You become a customer-centric organization, right? And you touching and learning and listening to the customers. In return, they're going to hug you back. Now listen to this. I'm gonna read. You just listen. He says, when you hug often enough, you find that your customers hug back. They smile at you. They send you notes. They say nice things to friends and turn them into customers. That's significant. That's the evidence that a true relationship has formed. There's a bond, and it means your hug worked. Lisa wrote me that letter because the hug worked. And listen, it'll work for you too. And it's not too late for you. Listen, you can learn these same skills and get the same return that I got. And I advise you to start with this book, hugging, hug your customers, hug your customers. Listen, I'm gonna put the link in the description below if you want to know more about how to get the book. I'll put all formats of the book, whether it's ebook or hardback copy, maybe even an audio book. Either way, I'm gonna link it up in the description of this video. And listen, if you click my link, it's my affiliate link. I do get a small commission if you purchase through my link. There's no additional cost to you. It's the same cost you would pay if you would have just went there on your own. But by doing so, it will I get a small commission to help support my Reese's cup habits. I know it's bad. It's bad. But if you want to buy me a Reese's cup, order the book through me. But listen, either way it goes, long as you get the book, I think you would. The book is he's actually revised the book, got a revised edition. I think the book is going to help you. It most definitely has helped me. And listen, if you want to see any other videos about customer service, look, I'm gonna put a playlist right here. So you just click right there and just binge watch through that playlist. Listen, I love you. Take care. Stay up. Stay blessed. And always remember that the word is your life.